Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, stick around, check this one out. This one's gonna be kind of cool. So what I'm gonna cover today is ECU tuning for the Ferrari 360, how it's done, what you can kind of do with it. Basically, what it requires is you have to reliably and safely do it, you have to basically take the computers out of the car and you need to basically give it a stable power supply. If you don't, you risk bricking the computer or causing a failed flash and something basically becoming a problem. Let me show you kind of the overview here on the car. I've got both of the side panels taken off already, and I've got one of the ECUs pulled out. The one on the passenger side here, when looking at the back of the car, the driver's side one I still have over there. This one right now, the passenger side one, it's over here sitting on my table or a little workstation right now. I've got it plugged into a custom harness. I sourced the Bosch plug for this thing, made a harness. It's an OBD2 connector, and then we have this alligator clip here that basically will clip onto here, and I'll explain it in a minute. This is a KKL 409 adapter. Runs right up to a Mac Mini. Now, why am I telling you all this? Basically, this is kind of the combination. You can do other combinations of this, but this is the safe, reliable way to flash one of these computers. As all electronics, they're very sensitive to static electricity, so you need to be extremely careful with them. I've got power being supplied to this thing, to the computer through the connector. I've got ground also, and I've got a K-line, and I've also got a boot pin, okay? Let me explain what the boot pin basically is and what it does. This right here is going to the boot pin on the ECU. What you do, you literally ground it against the case, and when this is plugged in right here, and you flip on the power supply, this gets powered up. That boot pin basically intercepts the processor on the hardware before it boots into the programming that's in there, and it will basically just wait. And then at that point, you're able to actually read and write the flash and the E-Prom on these computers, okay? So there's two bits of programming storage on here. There's the actual program that controls it, right? The program that runs the car, the ignition, the fuel, ignition tables, all that stuff. Then you have an E-Prom. It's a small, I think it's 512 bytes. I'd have to go double check. But basically, it contains configuration. Each one of the computers in this car on the back side, right here and here, they both have an E-Prom in there. It is mostly identical, except for one of them will decide at some point. From my understanding, there's a handshake that happens over the CAN bus, and then basically one of the ECUs will store like the rolling code or the immobilizer code that pairs with the immobilizer here, okay? So I don't know much more about it. I haven't dug too much deeper into the immobilizer stuff, so I'm not gonna say this is definitively how it works. Now, the program that you dump from it or read from these computers, you read it into a file. That file is then now on your computer or backed up wherever. Then you can go to town and start manipulating it. So what I did here, I've written a tool. This is in Python. It piggybacks off of tools that 360 Trev has written. The guy has released more stuff than you will realize out there into the public, and people just don't realize it. He has left tons of little breadcrumbs and gold mine pieces of information. There's lots of stuff there. You're able to do some pretty amazing stuff with it, guys. If you're insane, you can do it with a hex editor. Most people will use other softwares out there like Tuner Pro and stuff like that. They'll go through and use some tools out there that manipulate tables in files. But the thing is, you have to know where to look. That's the problem. That is the problem. So the hard part is not getting the tune files dumped and flashed and read. That's not the hard part. The reason why you pay for things like what 360 Trev offers is because he has figured out the MAFs, okay? He's gone through, figured out, massaged stuff, tweaked things, made improvements. It is worth paying for that. You can copy the fuel maps and the ignition maps, the throttle maps, all the stuff that makes it unique on a Challenge Stradale over to your tune. Now your car basically becomes a Challenge Stradale. You're basically, you have the performance maps. It will operate like one, provided that you have the right stuff. Like you've got the airflow meters, which are the larger Challenge Stradale / F430 MAFs. You have the bigger airbox lids. You've got the exhaust setup. So if you have those things or something that is comparable to that, with the exception of the airflow meters, right? But it will run exactly like a Challenge Stradale. You'll get that extra bump in power. It will drive like that. the exhaust flappers or valves or whatever will open at the higher end of the RPM spectrum versus the standard mod and Spider stuff. There really is a lot of stuff on here that you can play with once you start to see what's available. There's things like air injection that can be turned off. There's things like immobilizer can be turned off. If you know where to look, there's a way to defeat it in the software. That one I don't believe is really just publicly sitting out there. I have a pretty good idea of roughly where it's at looking in some of the original files. So I'm trying to figure that out. And once I figure that out, I'll be able to turn off my own immobilizer. Okay, so to show you guys how this kind of works, basically I've got power that will feed in. It will power up this OBD2 diagnostic connector. It'll also power up the computer itself and ground it. This boot pin, like I said, intercepts the processor at boot time so that we can access the flash chip inside pretty much. So we leave this connected before we apply power, okay? So what we do, flip on power, give it about, I don't know, 3 to 5 seconds or so. Before we read it though, you have to take the clip, the ground for the boot pin off the ECU case. Okay, then you can basically go ahead and read. And as you can see, it's starting to dump all the flash memory. So this takes about 1.5 minutes or something like that, but you end up with a file that is basically a one-to-one copy of what was on the flash chip in that ECU. So then you can basically start making your changes to all that stuff. Flip on power to this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and flash a tune to the car that's modified, see if it works, and we'll see how it goes. I've just finished flashing this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and, let's see if I can do this with one hand. Just connect this connector here and put this passenger side ECU back in the car. So let's go do that, and we'll take the other one out, we'll bring it back to the bench, and we will flash it. We've got the computer out. We're gonna take this thing over to the bench real quick, hook it up, apply the patches that I'm testing out, see if it works, and we should be good to go. Flip the power on. A few seconds here, we'll disconnect our boot pin. Here's the one thing that, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the tune that's on the left and right computer, they're identical. They're the same piece of software. What's different is, like I said earlier, there's a little E-Prom in here that has all the immobilizer data and some other configuration settings that is unique between the two. And the car will decide which one holds that information. I'm basically gonna write the same exact file to this one, install it in the car, and then test it. It is flashing right now. It's about 37, 38%. I haven't dove into tuning any of these maps at all. I haven't even tried to do that. I don't know that I'm going to, because I have found some other maps out there for the 360 Challenge race car, the 360 Challenge Stradale. What I may do is just transplant the performance maps and everything that makes it a Challenge Stradale into my specific tune and see what happens and see how it performs. It's all factory Ferrari maps. It should be very much safe. There's no reason it shouldn't be. So I'm gonna try that out. I'm not gonna do it now, but I'll do it later. But I just wanna see if this one simple change works. So this thing's almost done. We're gonna go ahead and put it back in the car in just a second and try to start it up. We're gonna cut our battery switch back on. F1 pumps priming back here. Let's get in here and check this all out. Didn't sound great. There we go, that sounds a little better. So we basically have to drive the car and see how it turns out. I'll drive it around and I'll give you guys an update. If everything works out well, I can start kind of tacking on more stuff and really transforming this car into something pretty awesome. Challenge Stradale maps are a possibility. 360 challenge race car fuel or ignition maps are technically a possibility, although I think they're probably more calibrated for stuff like, 100 octane race fuel or something like that, more than likely. So it's not gonna be something that's super easy to just drop some of those in there and just be like, yeah, let's run it, because it's not gonna end well. You probably could do it, and the car has knock sensors, and none of that's been played with as far as disabling or turning that off or adjusting it, and I do not plan to do any of that. So I'm sure you could run it on 93 pump gas and it would maybe get away with it, but I don't know that it's worth it. It's not worth the gamble, so I'm not gonna do it. Just a big thank you guys to 360 Trev, to Trevor. Thank you for releasing these tools. This helps the DIY community a lot. It helps people in general that just want to modify their car with the little tidbits of information you've kind of leaked out there and kind of left out there in the breadcrumbs. It dramatically helps. So guys, if you're interested in doing this stuff, I'll try to post some links to some resources in the description below so you can check it all out. Is this gonna be a replacement for 360 Trev stuff? Absolutely not. Not unless you know more than he does about the maps and the locations and offsets of things. With that being said, support people in the community. Go ahead, buy his tune. It's well worth it. It's very well refined from my understanding. Like I said, I've not personally seen it or experienced it, but everyone I've talked to that's had it says that it's a night and day difference. Stay tuned for the next video where we will go through and I will slap on those Challenge Stradale airbox lids, MAFs. We'll reflash the computers with hopefully a ported Challenge Stradale tune, and it will theoretically perform like a real Challenge Stradale. I still got to get the lift, guys, so it's coming in sometime this week, and then we'll kind of have a place to work on stuff and raise things up and down, which will be super nice. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll check you guys on the next one.